Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. In the last video, I showed how to make theater dolls using Julie nutting rubber stamps. So in the last one, I made the Christmas one and the Paris one and the underwater scene one. So today I'm going to do a couple of more. As I stated, I'm going to make a few videos with a bunch of different ones so you can have some ideas. And we've still got lots more stamps that I had selected out of my stash to play around with. And as I started to come up with an idea for what I wanted to do for my next themes, I came up with a great idea, something I wanted to share with you guys. I knew that I wanted to make another Christmas one, and I want this one to be an angel with a nativity scene underneath because of what time of year this is. So I contacted Yana at Paper Prints Pro. She's who I have a collaboration with, and she has beautiful, beautiful digitals in her Etsy shop. And I told her what I had in mind, and she hooked me up and sent me a beautiful Holy Nativity digital set that I could play around with. So I'm going to use that today. And I also knew that I wanted to do, I love to do fairies, and so I wanted to do a forest fairy theater doll. I thought it would be cute to have the doll at the top be a fairy and the scene underneath be a forest scene, maybe with forest animals or something. So that's what I had in my mind of something to play around with. And then the Lori mind kicked in, and I thought, I need to make this even easier on those of you who want to play along. I mean, I'm giving you the concept and the idea in the last video, but there's a lot of drawing involved. So you have to find your background, and you have to, measure it out and round out the top, and then you have to figure out what you're going to use for curtains and things and tiebacks. And I'm very creative and I like to draw, but I realize not everybody can draw or likes to draw. So what did I do? I got out my pen and pencil and I created a digital set for you guys, and I am so excited to show you. So here is what I came up with. Here is a base. You could print this out. You can cut this out of cardstock and use it as a template, or you could trace it onto maybe even a piece of cardboard and keep that as your template, or even better yet, how about a piece of acetate or something you can see through? That way you could put that over whatever your background image is that you find, draw your lines and cut it out, and you can center it just the way you want it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a plastic template for my base. Now the rest of these items, I've got tie backs that are bows. I drew curtains for you, all different kinds of curtains. So here's a curtain that is just long and straight. Here's a double curtain. Here are curtains with rope tie backs. Here are curtains with cloth tie backs. Here are some peplums to put at the top. Here is a theater topper that would be just beautiful with the girl at the top and then curtains down below. So I made this pretty theater topper. Another kind of bows, the other ones were double bows. These are single bows. I did a base, so if your girl, you can use any Julie nutting doll. That's what I'm finding out. Any doll in your stash you can use, and so I thought I'd create a base so that you'd have a little peplum area thing to connect to your doll or put over your doll if you just cut her off at the waist, and I'll show you how. So that's going to be for using on your dolls. And then here's some fairy wings. So if you want to make a forest fairy one, I thought, well, you're going to need some wings. So I made a perfect size that will fit on any Julie nutting doll to make the doll at the top be a fairy. And then I did, for my idea about the nativity, I did angel wings and a halo. So this halo can be used and cut at any place and wrapped around the hairstyle of any Julie nutting doll. The wings can be put behind a doll, or even cut in half to kind of put them at different angles so you can use the wings. Here's another theater topper where at the top of the circle there's a great big bow, and then you could do your curtains out from that. That is going to be so cute to use. Here are some peace doves. So when I do the Holy Nativity scene, I'm going to have my tie backs be doves holding the curtains back, and I thought you guys might like that. Here are some heart tie backs, some pine cone tie backs, some flower tie backs, some more peplums of a different kind, some holly tie backs if you want to do another Christmas theme, and some skinnier types of bows. So all these are what you will receive in your digital download purchase if you choose to purchase this. So I hope you do. You know, your purchases help me, and then this is going to be making these theater dolls so easy for you guys, and I'm going to show you some fun ways of using this, different ideas. So let's get started and have some fun. There are 3 ways to use the templates. You can print these out onto a cardstock and cut the pieces out and use the pieces to trace onto other cardstock or paper. You won't have the details like the little gathers and things. You'd have to draw those in yourself. But I also go back and use colored pencil and neocolors and things to make shadows anyway. So you might want to do it that way, to just make a set of templates and cut them out and then just keep them in an envelope and use them that way. The next way would be to actually print onto cardstock or pattern paper. So what you would want to do, like here is a 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper, and I think I might want to use one of these or both of these to make the forest fairy images. So what I'd want to do is to cut my 12 by 12 scrapbook paper into 8.5 by 11 size that will fit into my printer, and then I just decide which page has the pieces that I want. So I think I would like these curtains, and then I figure out what I want on top for the top part, and I think I would want to use these cute little peplums. So I would have to print those out. You print those pages onto the paper and it'll print right on here, so that all you have to do is cut out your paper and you've got pattern paper in the shape of your peplums and curtains. And so that's like a super easy way to do it. Or you could print them right onto white cardstock and just cut out the images and color them yourselves. So if you wanted to print these in white and color these curtains red with whatever, alcohol markers, colored pencils, whatever you wanted to use. Maybe you want a purple curtain, you don't have any purple cardstock or purple paper. You can just print them on white and color them. So I left them black and white for a reason, so that you could print them onto pattern paper and cardstock. So say you wanted this, I'd like to do one of those with that cute topper in red. So I'm just going to use cardstock. So it's not pattern paper, it's just sheets of cardstock. Same thing, I'm going to put my cardstock into the printer and I'm going to print out this image onto the red and cut them out and use that on my page. And then I can use pens to color the fringe and the tie backs. I think I'm going to do those in a gold paint pen, do some shading on them, and I'm going to have a really cool looking theater with red curtains. So those are ways to use these. There's several different ways that you can use them. You can print them out and cut them out and make templates. You can print right onto cardstock. You can print onto pattern paper. So give them a try and see which ways you like best to use them. And then again, with the base, I'm going to cut that out in clear plastic, and I'll show you how cool that's going to be as I create my image. So to start with, for my first image, my first theater doll I want to make, I want to do the manger, the Holy Nativity scene. So I have printed out the image from Yana's Yana's digital set. So I've got Mary and Joseph, the manger, the baby Jesus, and this cool scene. So I'm going to use those. And then first thing I would want to do is to take my base, and I will do that in plastic right now and show you that you want to cut out your base first. To create a see-through template for my base, I'm using a piece of acetate and that theater base, and I'm just going to put that over and trace it. Actually, I can go right up to that edge. I'll have two edges already cut for me, and I'm just using a Sharpie to trace and create that base. And now I'm going to cut that out. I've got my image that is my scene. And again, this came from Paper Prints Pro. I'll have the link in the description box where to find this cool nativity set. There are so many beautiful background scenes and little elements that you can put in, like the wise men and the animals, whatever you want to use to create your own scene. So this is the clear acetate piece. Now I can see where I want to lay this down. I really want that that star, the star that led the wise men in the scene. I think I want it off to the side a little bit instead of right in the middle. I know I'm going to put a manger. I want the town to be behind them, and I know that there's going to be peplums that are going to sort of cover this, so I don't want to go too high. That's why it's nice to have this clear piece to create my shape, because I can kind of get it exactly where I need it to be so that it'll be where I want it when I create the doll. And now I can just take a pen and trace this. That's why I did this for you guys, because you'll always have the perfect shape for your base for your theater doll, and you'll have lots of curtain options. So if you want to create these using your Julie Nutting stamps, this is going to make it so much easier for you guys. So there's my image drawn out. Now I just need to cut it out. So there's my base scene cut out. You don't need to worry about pen lines because you're going to cover it up with curtains. So now what I want to do is to cut out my little manger pieces that are going to go in here and figure out which curtains I want to use. And for curtains, I decided that I want to use yellow. I want it to be bright yellow because I think it'll just make the scene pop, and it'll be cute to have yellow curtains. And this is going to be an angel, so that's going to be so fun to have an angel at the top. So I just need to decide which curtains I want from the set, and which curtains and which little peplums I want to use. So I think I'm going to use this one. I like that one with a double curtain. Actually, I'm gonna use that one on the fairy one. So I'm gonna use this one. And so all I need to do is put my piece of yellow cardstock, it's already cut 8.5 by 11, put it into my printer and print out this set of curtains onto the cardstock. So look how cool that is. And I received my printer from a follower a couple years ago, Tammy. So Tammy, again, thank you. I love my printer. I use it so much. And it has a flatbed scanner, so I was able to just put my printout, my digital printout, onto the flatbed, do print black and white, put this in the paper tray, and then it prints out on here. If you don't have a flatbed scanner on top of your printer, then you can print it directly from the file that you download too, so you can do it either way. Or if you have to take it to a print place like Staples or Office Max, then you would just take this with you to put down and put this in their paper tray and print onto your cardstock. So that's how that works, and look at how easy that is. Now all I have to do is cut out those curtains. I made it easy for you guys. You do end up with pieces that you don't use, but save them. Maybe you'll want to use these yellow curtains on another one, and you can use this base as a background even and layer on it. You can have yellow bows. So just save them in a folder when you print on them, and you can save them for another theater doll that you create. Here's what that looks like with those curtains. And now I think I'm going to use some distress ink to kind of antique the curtains a little bit around the edges, and some colored pencils to make some shadows. I'm going to use my Marisol stamp for this one, and so as always I start by stamping her onto a file folder for my base. And I'm going to stamp her also onto yellow cardstock. I want her outfit to be yellow just like the curtains, because the outfit from the waist area is going to become part of the top of the theater doll. So I'm going to stamp her body image, just this dress part. I'm going to ink the dress and stamp it on here. I think I'll leave a little room because I might even want to improvise and make kind of a top to this dress instead of it being sleeveless. Since it's an angel, it needs to be appropriate. So first I'll stamp her on the file folder to create my base image, and then I'll stamp her on yellow cardstock. For the dress, and I think I'm going to stamp her also onto vellum. Piece of vellum. I've got a little scrap here, and I'm going to stamp her on vellum to make part of her outfit out of vellum. I like to use Ranger archival ink, and I use coffee when I'm stamping my layers instead of black. That's just my preference, and I don't like them stark black. I think the coffee just looks nice. And these little minis like this come in a set of 4, and they're just easy to use on Julie Netting stamps. On the vellum piece, I just added a sleeve with a pencil. I just did a V and a sleeve. And then what you can do with vellum is to color the back side of it, and it'll show through. You can color the front also, but I'm going to use a yellow alcohol ink marker to color the back side in yellow, so her sleeves will look translucent. So that's what that looks like, and I can cut that piece out and start layering her on the file folder. And you don't have to do this, but it's something I like to do. I like to change the position of the arm. This one is at her waist, and in a theater doll, it's kind of like she's holding open the theater curtains. So what I'm going to do is to cut this arm away and reposition it to have it going outward. So right here, let's see, how can I do that? If I turn it that way, I think I'm going to cut it straight across to the elbow. Hopefully that will work. And then I'm going to put it across like this. So it's going to be more like she's holding her skirt out. But I haven't glued these curtains down yet because you need to tuck your girl behind. So I just kind of need to decide where she's going to go, how far down that's going to go. And so I might have to cut some more of the girl here, but you want to place her behind and in the center. So the easiest thing to do is to put a line of glue just to the edge. Put your curtain at the edge like this, down to the bottom, and put it in place like that. And then leave these loose so that you can glue your girl behind. I printed this sheet in white, so I'll have the angel wings, the halo, but I'm going in the doves, of course, and so I needed it to be in white. And then all I'll have to do is just to add some shadows and a little hint of color to those. Next, you're going to want to cut this edge when I put my curtains down, I had a little bit of overhang, and that's fine. You just trim it away. Sometimes you'll have that, sometimes you won't. It depends on what curtains you use, what peplum you have at the top. So you just trim away any excess around the doll, just like that. And here's what the angel wings will look like. I love how this is turning out. I've got my scene down below, the curtains, the angel wings on, and I put the little pea stubs as tiebacks, which I think is so cute, added to this. Now I need to do her hair, draw a cute face. I'm going to make a 3-dimensional popped up bangs and add the halo. So here's how she turned out. There's her cute face that I drew on. I have a video on how to do faces. And I did her halo in gold paint. I added a little gem from acrylic nail art. I used the gold paint on her sleeves and top and added another little gem right there in the middle. I used one of the bows from the set to add a bow where the curtains come across. And I added the little piece stubs, and then I just used little micron pens to draw the vines, and then used a red paint pen to make the little berry dots. And that's how, and I did put, if you can see her wings shimmer, I added some Spectrum Wear glitter ink to her wings to make them sparkle. So this is how it turned out, and I love it. Using the elements from the kit, and I think she turned out really cute in using the Marisol stamp. For this next one, I'm going to use the Aurora stamp, and I want to use these curtains. So I cut my scrapbooking paper 8.5 by 11. I'm going to put it in the printer and print the curtains onto this sheet. I'm going to stamp the top part of her dress onto this green cardstock. And I'm going to layer on a file folder like I always do to create the top of the girl. Here are the curtains I chose printed onto scrapbooking paper. And here's the image I chose. This is also from Paper Prints Pro. This is one of the beautiful scenes that she has in her digitals. I just love this one. It's kind of a nature one with a tree and a pond. It's just so cute. And so here's my clear template, and I'm going to lay this over and find where I want to cut this out, draw my line, and cut out my background for my theater. So this is how this looks layered. I love that scene, and then the top, her dress and her glove, and the curtains. So that's how that's going to look, and I just need to stamp the girl and create her face and her hair and add her to the backup part of this dress, and then decorate. So fun. I hope you're loving this. My creations make it so easy to create a theater, and your choice of curtains and the top, and this one was a perfect stamp to use the top because she's got some nice beautiful little peplums here. If you don't have that, you really don't even need it. You could even cut this away and not even use that, but I like it, so I'm leaving it and just layering it, so it's going to be super cute. So I colored over her crown because I'm going to add something fun and nature-like there. I added a cute face. Here's the top of the dress layered over the curtains and over the scene. I just love how it's coming together. And now I need to do her fairy wings. I printed the wings on white paper, and I just flicked in a little light pink with some alcohol marker. The decorating is always my favorite part. I added some Spectrum Noir glitter ink to the wings, a little bit of fern or ivy growing in her hair, and at the connection of her little dress here, I layered the photo to add a fox, a drinking deer, a toad. I added for the tiebacks a little bird's nest and a butterfly. So that's how my nature fairy theater doll turned out. I just love it. So I hope you had fun, and I hope that my 2 videos have inspired you to try making a theater doll using your Julie Netting stamps. I hope you give this kit a chance. It is so much fun, and I made it so easy for you to create with, so that you've got the toppers, the base, the curtains, and then all you have to do is choose your scene, find a doll to use, layer them, and decorate. So thanks for stopping by, and all the links will be in the description box for the products I've used and the digital if you're interested. And I also need to give a big shout out to everybody who responded to my groveling for glue in the last video. I have had some wonderful, wonderful gifts show up at my door from my Amazon wish list. I have a video light that I can't wait to try that goes underneath my camera. I just have to get it set up. It's charging, so I've got to get it set up and use it next video. I can't wait. So it'll be brighter. I won't have shadows cast. See how I cast a shadow? So thank you so much. That came from Mimi. What a wonderful gift that was. I've received glue, so I have art glitter glue, even a new glue to play with to try out. Barely Art. So I've got that one to try out. I've never tried it before. And I'm so happy to receive art glitter glue so much. Thank you so much. Everybody who's been so kind. And I received a donation from Linda in Tennessee. And thank you to Flora. Thank you so much to Maxine. Maxine spoiled me with glue. I'm going to be set for glue for a while, so it's just awesome. Everybody is so wonderful, and I'm so blessed that I've got such great followers and people that love to watch my videos, and I'm glad that what I share and what I do inspires you to play and make some art, because that's what we're here for, is to make art and soothe our hearts. Have a great day, and next video I'm going to make some more. I'm going to make something using this cute topper, another fun scene, so stay tuned for some more fun videos.